Jungle.
Top 10 craziest WWE conspiracy theories. Number 10. HBK's back injury. One of the greatest wrestling stars, Shawn Michaels, needs no introduction for the fans of the wrestling world. During a match with Undertaker in 1998, his back got severely injured, which restricted his entry in the ring for the next fine 4 years. The conspiracy theory here is that the injury was not real. According to different sources, the back injury was real, but the question is, was he injured enough that he couldn't wrestle for the next 4 years? When he came back, he was strong as ever, and it was hard to say that he had gone through such an injury. Number 9. Two Ultimate Warriors. Until his abrupt absence from television in 1991, Ultimate Warrior was one of the most recognizable stars of the late 80s. He had beaten Hulk Hogan for the heavyweight championship just a year earlier, and was bound to be the biggest star for years to come. Why would he leave so suddenly? When he stormed down the aisle to assist his friend and former opponent Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania, fans were shocked. However, this man had much shorter hair and was slightly less muscular. This wasn't the Warrior that everyone remembered. It was rumored that it was a different person, that the real Warrior must have died, and Vince McMahon got in another look-alike to cash in on the Warrior name, hoping that the fans would never know the difference. Number 8. The Pipe Bomb. The Punk, in 2011, was able to do what few thought possible. He sent a surge of energy through the WWE crowd. After winning the championship, he left for a short while. He was represented as an anti-authority figure and was quite popular. His famous pipe bomb is what brought him under scrutiny. People began to question whether what he said was something he actually believed in, or was he teamed up with McMahon to stir up the WWE. Whatever the motivation behind it, we have to accept that it was quite successful. Number 7. Randy Savage's delayed shift to the Hall of Fame. Until 2015, every year the discussion would come up of why Randy Savage isn't in the Hall of Fame. One of the mysteries of the wrestling world that remains unsolved to this day is the fact that Randy Savage never became a part of the Hall of Fame of WWE. After his death in 2011, it was evident that he will become part of the Hall of Fame, but never happened. The conspiracy theory in this case is that there was a rumor that Savage had an affair with a daughter of Vince McMahon, as a result of which McMahon refused to renew his contract and made sure he never becomes part of the Hall of Fame. Number 6. Vince McMahon covers up murder. The early 1980s marks the tragic death of Nancy Argentino. She was rushed to the hospital from the motel in which she was staying, and later the medical reports disclosed that brain injury was the cause of death. Jimmy Snuka, the owner of the motel, never got arrested after that, but he has given different accounts for the happening. There was gossip all over that Nancy Argentino was murdered by Snuka. In the meanwhile, Vince McMahon has dealt with the situation on behalf of Snuka to free him from the suspicion. Thus, the mystery of the murder remains unsolved, and it is under investigation till this day. Number 5. Shockmaster. In the history of WCW, the first appearance of the Shockmaster is one of the most prominent events. He came through a sheetrock when his name was announced and was supposed to fall, which eventually resulted in his falling over his helmet that rolled his way to a distance. The famous wrestler, the Shockmaster, was promoted as a brave and daring rival in the arena, but he ended up as a comedian. There is view that he would have planned to ruin the first appearance of the wrestler by putting a board with a nail in it and fix it with the base of the wall in which the wrestler was supposed to trip. But the truth is, that board with a nail has never been found. Number 4. Vince sent Nash and Hall to destroy WCW. Legitimate stars of WWE, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, had contracts nearing their end. After a bidding war, both stars were signed by Ted Turner. Due to bad management decisions and exorbitant spending, they were eventually taken over. Could this be McMahon's idea all along? He had some great upcoming stars like Steve Austin, so he artificially drove up the price of some wrestlers to squeeze money out of WCW. The long-term goals were high enough, so as to allow the short-term negativity. Number 3. Gay sex scandal cover-up. In 1922, a gay sex scandal came up. The scandal involved Pat Patterson and Terry Garvin, both working for the WWE and Friends. It started when Murray Hodgson, claiming to have been wrongfully terminated, filed a lawsuit for being fired because he turned down Patterson's advances. In the beginning, the issue was dismissed, but it took a serious turn when more people came up with similar accusations against one another. Both of them resigned at the time, but a year later, Pat Patterson was rehired. Was Patterson innocent and just a victim of homophobia, or did the WWE help sweep clean any wrongdoings? Number 2. Hogan's a black eye. In a wrestling match, a famous wrestler, Hulk Hogan, entered the ring with a black eye. To this day, no one has a clue how the wrestler got the black eye. There are various conspiracy theories attached with the black eye. Is of the view that Savage, friend of Hogan, had attacked him, resulting in the black eye. It happened when Savage discovered that Hogan had an affair with his wife. However, later on it was revealed that Hogan had a jet skiing accident that caused him the injury of the eye. Number 1. Montreal Screwjob. The exact facts are not known, but the general consensus is that it was already planned that Bret Hart would win the match and then leave the next night's one on Raw. But since McMahon was not happy happy with this, he forced the referee into ending the match earlier, and the championship was awarded to Michaels. This is a consensus of what happened, but what makes this really unbelievable is a rumor that Bret Hart was in the plan the whole time. However, it is very doubtful that Hart was in on it, because he couldn't have been more disgusted when he lost a championship match. Also, the substantiating stories of Bret legitimately beating up Vince backstage point towards that Bret didn't know. Thank you for watching our top 10 craziest WWE conspiracy theories. Feel free to leave a comment and like the video. We hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful day.